All right, everyone, welcome to another XtraCast. Today we're going to be talking about Battletech some more. We played through it a bit more, had some thoughts, there were some updates. In fact, an email came out last night talking about some of the upcoming changes, such as for compatibility and performance. They've been receiving a lot of information from players experiencing hardware and system compatibility issues, including performance, and they are doing investigations on that. But it's going to take a little bit of time. They're also adding some updates that are going to be coming out. Accelerated combat options, which will probably do things like maybe remove animations so people can have more like just picking up a piece and moving it. And basically to increase the pace of the combat.
There's a post in the news category on the Steam that tells you how to go in there and edit all the files.
Yeah.
And I was almost considering doing it, but then it's kind of like, I don't really want it to mess up if I start playing the skirmish mode. So I'm like, I'll just deal with it being a little bit slow, but it's nice to see them addressing that.
Yeah, yeah. You know, and so we have also the mechware customization. So all your teammates, the way it stands right now, you can't change the way they look, so they want to give you that option to make them more personalized.
That'd be awesome, especially being able to rename them, and you can have your own custom field of people. Like maybe you want, like, you got 3 other friends or whatever, and you put them in your game as pilots, and you can talk about their career. No, I'm down for that. That sounds awesome.
Granular difficulty settings, discrete options allow them to customize the challenge level of the game in different areas. That's going to be a big one.
And we'll be talking more about that as the show continues here.
Oh, yeah. The background mission we're showing is one of LD's missions, and it was one of his more frustrating ones. We're using this as reference because it may be some points that come up in the video that we may want to address. But as I said, some of this stuff will be addressed shortly. They're going to be doing improvements to the Mech Lab store and salvage quality of life improvements, including interface when you're doing buying and salvaging and things like that. They're adding a tutorial skip option, so basically you can jump right into, I guess, a leopard. And they're also going to try to be rebalancing some of the difficulty spikes, because sometimes missions are really easy and sometimes they're just brutal. And
like
they want to kind of, yeah, exactly. They just want to kind of smooth it out a little bit. Now, also, they want to have live streaming quality of life improvements. So hopefully with that they actually have a full-fledged full screen mode, because right now it's just variations of windowed mode, windowed borderless, or just windowed in general.
Official support for full screen window mode, not file editing.
Yeah, because just on the on the first video I noticed, and I recorded it and I had set the resolution, but there was black bars on the side, and that wasn't my intent. But I had problems getting the resolution to work right, and because I have an ultra wide display, and even though I set it to ultra wide, it was only coming through at 1080p, but apparently it didn't even do that. So there were some resolution issues, and it was very kind of frustrating as a person who does recordings and videos and things like that to not have the resolution come out the way that you want. Now, a lot of times when I do videos, I don't record in ultra wide because people get the black bars in the top and bottom. Some people just don't like that, and I kind of downgrade my view to a 1080p just so that
quote unquote downgrade.
Yeah, quote unquote downgrade. Of course, you do get the enhanced performance when you have less actual display, but. Yeah. That's still their screen settings need some work, and looks like they're going to be hopefully adjusting some of that. They've also going to be having some free updates that they're going to be giving out to the game after this first update. I guess kind of as a thank you, and then down the road they're looking at larger paid expansions or two. And I would imagine that they'll advance the timeline, and eventually we'll be looking at clan mechs along with intersphere mechs, and you can kind of pick a time period. That will be fun.
Well, they kind of joked about that during one of the, I don't know if it was a live stream or something, but they talked about how they would advance the game timeline as like real timeline went. But it doesn't really make any sense because it's what, like 7 to 10 years, and then we have the Forced Succession War, and then in 50 years is the clan invasion. So I mean, those are some pretty big things that they can add in, and I imagine, especially if they went with the story mode, because to be honest, I mean. We'll get this later, but I finished the story. But I'm surprised how big they went with the story. So, because I wasn't expecting like much single player at all. I was expecting like, you're a mercenary company and here's the area you can play in, and that's what I was expecting. Just that. But they went and put a story in there, and there's some pretty unique characters you meet along the way. So I can see them making a full-fledged DLC/expansion and having, you know, another story. I mean, even if it's only like, let's say, 10 story missions, right? But it's a new area to play in. There's new mechs, you know, new people and stuff. And because they're going with the limited voice acting stuff, it'll be a lot easier and cheaper for them to do that.
Yeah, and you know, I hope that if there's two things I need to add, I think, to really kind of just make the package complete. One, obviously, is co-op against AI, because I think that people would like to play together like that. And the other one is community support, meaning that community members can design their own mechs. The reason I want this in particular is that I want to see players, because if players mod in the unseens with the accurate stats, there's nothing that Harvest Gold can do about that.
Because it's a mod.
It says it's a mod. And the thing is, I remember it was years ago that we were playing Champions Online. Now, Champions Online is a superhero game, and they give you a lot of different parts, and you can make costumes and stuff look the way you want. It's either Champions Online or Cities of Heroes, but they both were made by the same studio. So the thing is that
I think it might have been City of Heroes.
Yeah, but Marvel went after them because you could make perfect Wolverines, you could make perfect Cyclopses, because there was enough costume variants out there that you could do it. And they were like, you know, you can't, this isn't allowed. But the thing is that it wasn't the costumes that were being replicated. It was just individual parts that were close enough. And basically it was ruled on that Marvel doesn't have a right to claws. They don't have a right to a yellow suit. If a player puts that together, it's just the nature of it. They can't stop people from making an homage to a character that they love. So in the same way, you've got the situation with this. If someone was to be able to mod in, like, say, a Behemoth or something like that, there's nothing that Harvest Gold could even do to win or lose on a lawsuit. So that's why I really want to see them do that, because over all this time, there's a vast amount of mechs and things like that. And plus, as you know, modding communities are really great about addressing any balance issues and coming up with new solutions. Plus maps, making your own maps. Man, those two features, and this game is just golden in every sense of the word. It's still very viable right now, but you add that, and I'll just tell anyone, if you like anything Battletech related, you must own this game. Just whip out the credit card. It's happening. So you had a few thoughts and things that you want to discuss about the game, as you had kind of labeled out for me.
I've got a whole big old list.
All right, well, go ahead and jump into it a little bit.
Oh boy, okay. I've written this all down. Usually I just kind of do things off the cuff, but you know, we're not going to. So as far as bug fixes are going to be coming down the road. I mean, you know, you mentioned that there was just like hardware issues and things like that. I haven't had a lot of bugs. I did have a mission where my dropship dropped one of my mechs off on a rock, and the rock wasn't a walkable rock, but it was a jump jettable rock. And because my mech didn't have jump jets, it sat on the rock for the whole mission. Thankfully, the mission wasn't very hard, but it was a little annoying. That's really all the bugs I've seen. It has crashed a couple times, and that's mostly with alt-tabbing, which I think is one of the issues they mentioned. But a friend of mine, they if the cutscenes play, it crashes their game, and they have to hit escape to skip them. Otherwise, you know, if it plays for more than a second or two, their game crashes.
Which is really sad, because the story is actually pretty good.
Yeah, so they're missing out on some pretty interesting stuff. So I think that is definitely one of the things that they know about, and I don't think they've played a whole lot recently. So that being fixed, I'm sure would make a lot of people happy. And there's Steam reviews, people are like, oh, it doesn't even work. So bug fixes definitely need to become down the road. I'm glad they've announced these kind of things, because they kind of went dark after release. It's just like, was no news. So
well, I think they were just silently listening and taking feedback, because, you know, I guess that's a good thing about this studio. I noticed that they're quick to acknowledge their errors and mistakes, announce what they're going to do about it, and then they seem to be thankful to their community by saying, hey, we got some free stuff for you coming on along down the pike.
I was kind of worried we were going to see another Hello Games kind of thing, where they release it and just go dark, and it's like 6 months later, hey, we fixed all those things. No, you have to be vocal in this kind of day and age as far as computer games go.
Especially in the early days after a release.
Oh, massively.
I mean, you can't just No Man's Sky it and walk away.
Anyway, moving on from that. Balance mechanics. They are going to be working on some of this. I believe we talked about this a little bit in the last episode. I think we touched on the hard points and things, and how it's a good balancing mechanic, because you can't just like stack like 15 PPCs on a mech, because it doesn't have the hard points to carry that. Obviously 15 PPCs would be stupidly heavy. And I know I've talked about it with you, not on camera. I don't know if we talked about it before, but I think some of the weight on the weapons is wrong, and I did change my game to reflect like a little bit of tonnage reduction.
You had a frustration factor because you were getting like missions that were somehow they ramped up way outside of your tonnage and ability.
Yeah. And I basically I just didn't care anymore. But
yeah, you found out you could go right into the files and change the numbers. So you had
you can change anything.
You had Stupor Mech with like 5,000 armor and
yeah, I went pretty hardcore, but I've since rolled back to default values. I still believe that some of the weapons are 1 to 2 tons heavier than they need to be, especially when you factor in ammunition. But I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm playing on a unmodded run. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to try and play the game slower, even though I'm already running into bullcrap and I haven't barely played.
See, I mean, I'm having a lot more luck than you are, because I'm running out of the lance.
You are getting lucky in drops too. I don't think I got a single assault mech in the entire time I played.
You saw my roster. It's like
you've got all your bays filled. I don't even know how you afford to run that much. I could barely run with what I had.
Yeah, I make a ridiculous amount of money now, and I've got money to burn. My ship is fully upgraded. I've got like my lowest tonnage mechs are 60 tons.
Yeah,
I run around with a lance of
Panther.
Well, I run around with a lance of 475s. So it's like they're all set up like ridiculous, so that I can like one shot anything in front of me. So it's one of those things that But I play a little bit, like I'm noticing like on this video here, like your strategy is different than mine. I would say quite a bit.
Yeah.
What I like to do is all my mechs have a tendency to. I have one guy who's a scout, and that's literally what his class is. When the round starts, I don't move. I move the other guys to cover, and I keep them there. And then I take my scout and I move around until I locate somebody, and I keep them on the outside of edge of scanning range, and I lock down the target. Now, if it's vehicles, I take priority because they can't take cover, and they don't get damage resistance unless they're like in the forest or something. And then I will have the rest of my team LRM them to weaken them, soften them, do whatever they can to get them down to a certain point. So by the time they finally come around a corner where all my guys are, over the hill or whatever, the second they expose themselves, it's called shots, center torso, and everything dies. Like one hit for this mech, one hit from this mech, one hit for this mech.
Just kind of like I tried to call shot center torso on that one guy, and it basically most of them missed.
Oh yeah, yeah. But my guys are all their skill up. Their skill is 10 for everything now because I haven't lost a mech. I haven't lost a guy.
I don't know where this save is compared to what I was playing, but they should be really high up there. I mean, the multi-shot, or no, not the multi-shot, the breaching shot is like level 8 or something for pilot skills. So, good to go. I mean, most of these guys have like 8 in something. Like Decker here, he's got the stupid ace movement thing, so he's level 8 something. It's pilot, or I don't know if it's pilot or tactics or something. I actually don't like that skill that much.
And the thing is this game is highly customizable to your playstyle. Now, knowing what I know now, I would actually give all my guys sensors above all things, because the ability to be out of line of sight, see them and they can't see you, and to weaken them down, it's a huge long-term advantage when it comes to, I mean, in the beginning, it's like, even if they're taking cover, you're doing half damage, but you get 3 guys firing on one mech at half damage from a distance, it's still gonna wear them down quite well. But that's a personal choice thing. I mean, there's some people who like to get in close and punch it out. But you need to design or pick a mech that's going to work well with that kind of strategy. Like all fists and machine guns or whatever.
Yeah, and there's upgrades you can do for the arms to make them punch harder and things.
Yeah, so there's just it's a really deep game. I'm finding it not only is it customizable in the sense of loadout, but the sense of playstyle. And it's I mean, I tell you what, I'm so glad I backed this on Kickstarter. I'm glad to have seen it come to fruition. It's absolutely worth it in my opinion. So anyway, you were talking about your reinforcement waves?
Yes, reinforcement waves. This one is the primary culprit of things that are bad. Basically, both reinforcement waves, like the alpha wave and the beta wave or whatever, they start on top of you.
Oh yeah.
And at the time when I was mentioning this, you had like, I haven't really seen that, but now you have, or when you finish a mission and it's like, oh, how many waves are incoming? You're like, what? And then
they literally will start like if you read in the description that they're gonna have help, and they give you the location marker. First thing you do is you look at the map. You say, okay, what's the furthest point from them? And you're like, okay, so great. I want to. If you like say it's to the left, you go left. You're gonna find all the reinforcement waves. They're already spawned. They're ready to go. They're already almost on top of you. You deal with them, and then you deal with the main way. Because you go up the middle, you're gonna get flanked. You're gonna get hit. You got to just charge into one, take them out, then turn back the other direction. And because it's funny, and then when you beat the mission, and then you get a warning, sir, there's incoming reinforcements. Mission complete. It's like, thanks.
Yeah, it seems like it's not working like it's supposed to.
No, definitely not.
So I personally, I would. I mean, I believe I have notes about this, but whatever, we'll get to that. But having it so they spawn off map, or have a timer saying, "Oh, you've been detected. They're calling for reinforcements."
Right, and they give them a couple different spawn points depending upon like being furthest from the player as possible, or the average distance.
Yeah.
So basically, it's like it's a little dynamic, so that you never know exactly. You don't want them
and another thing is you can see in the top right corner here, there's the 3 lines, which is your options, the 2 arrows, I'm not sure what that is, and the withdrawal. The withdrawal button means you're leaving the mission, you're done. So if you get one of those reinforcement missions where like you go and let's say it's an assassination mission, you go in there, you kill the target, and then it's like, oh, there's reinforcement waves coming in, head back to the landing zone, or unless you think you can beat them. In the current game, that's not possible. They'll just all be on top of you, and there's nothing you can do about it. But if they had a more dynamic reinforcement system, you could leave. Like, oh crap, they've got guys coming in 3 turns, and then you just sprint to the LZ and you leave, and you're done. So, personally, I think that would take a lot of the challenge out. This guy's got no arms and he's trying to hit me.
Good old Stumpy.
I think that'd make a lot of these surprisingly hard missions, like doable for one.
Yeah, it really would. And as I said, it's. I really feel that if there was a complaint that I had in the game, that would be my biggest one right now, by far. Which isn't even that big of a complaint. It's not like I'm complaining about the game mechanics or anything like that. It's like it's clearly just a bugged feature. And because I've never had to withdraw really to a location. I just wipe out everything and automatically says you win, you leave.
Affirmative.
Pew. So yeah, like the difficulty spikes and stuff. I'm kind of noticing that in my restart of a game, but I'm trying to take it as slow as possible. I want to do the next story mission because it gives me the I'm just gonna spoil it. It gives me the Argo, and if you haven't seen that by now, well, and because when you get that, that's kind of when the game opens up for you. And I don't have to do one story mission to get it. It's not a hard story mission, but it's a very long one. And I think I just got Death from Above. Yeah,
yes, you did.
That's nice. And I'm gonna fall over now. Here it comes, because
there you go.
They focus so hard on your mechs, it drives me up the wall. Yes, I know players do it as well, but when it's the AI and you're outnumbered, I mean, imagine if you went into a match. Well, actually, you don't have to. I've had them. If you go into a game and you take your full lance of 4 and you fight 2 mechs, it's a curb stomp. You absolutely annihilate them because you have overwhelming firepower. But the same thing is true with the AI, except for it's 8 versus 4, right? Yeah. They have 8. And
that's the biggest part of the reinforcement issues, because that's exactly the scenario you walk into. There's no chance to set up a trap or whatever. But that'll be worked out. And the difficulty settings being set in there as well. It's very possible that they may do something like, the enemy mechs at this slider will always be slightly less tonnage than you, or maybe more.
Personally, I would a 5% accuracy and debuff scale.
It could be anything, or it could be like increasing the pilot skill in the mechs, or decreasing the pilot skill in the mechs.
There's a lot of stuff in the game that can change stuff. They don't have to really rewrite the AI. But one of the things I think they could change, or rather, it wouldn't be a change, just add on to the game. And I was reading, I believe it was a Reddit post, and someone was talking about, it was either MechWarrior 1 or MechWarrior 2, where you had tonnage limits. You couldn't drop more than X amount of tons.
Right, absolutely.
Right.
I remember that MechWarrior. It was like, you absolutely, there's, lances are comprised of 4 mechs, and sometimes there are there are scenarios where a job doesn't, for whatever reason, doesn't allow you to have it. Like, and also just for gameplay purposes. Like, if they want to keep something to a certain level of difficulty, they can limit the tonnage that goes down. But it might be more difficult in this game because even when you have the Argo, the most you're going to have is those 3 rows of mechs. Even if you're fully upgraded. So there's only so much that you can carry, like as far as storing your ship. But I guess if it would be hard to implement it on a current save. But if it was like a limit, right now all you had was big mechs, you might only be able to bring down 1 or 2 mechs, in that case, because you don't have any of the Jenners or anything like that anymore. You're just kind of.
I'm okay with a system like that, but it might cause more problems. But something that I would really like to see them to add would be like an expected amount of mechs. Like we expect, a lance of, mediums or a lance of lights, or, maybe there's like, they have a heavy and a couple of lights or maybe a medium.
Yeah.
Give a general idea of what you're about to fight. Now, obviously it could be one of those things like the closer you are to like a harder area, or if you don't have very good reputation with them, they might not give you very good intel. But like when you get, high reputation, the intel becomes more accurate. But having a general idea of what you're about to face, as opposed to, gee, I don't know what it is, I better take the heaviest mechs,
Yeah, even if they get a mechanic like you can pay somebody, an advanced scout, there's like a little bit of money to go down there and give you an idea of what you're walking into. I mean, just as because there's a lot of things in this game that have like this cost of running a mercenary operation. So I wouldn't be above the realm of expectations that you could hire somebody to get the intelligence that you need. I mean, I don't mind that kind of thing. Intel. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I'm just saying is that it'd be nice to have the option to know, hey, the advanced scouting reports that they have 175 tons of mechs and 200 tons of tanks, and there's 5, so you kind of walk into it knowing, okay, I've got a heavier vehicle assembly than even mechs, and where vehicles are like weak, like they can't like brace or anything like that. Where vehicles are incredibly strong is that they have a metric ton.
Oh, guess what? It said the PPC arm blown off.
I never, to be honest with you, I've used PPCs like once during this game. I've never been a PPC guy, except maybe, well, I shouldn't say that. I have been a PPC. In this game, I'm not a PPC guy for some reason. My favorite mech in Battletech was the Behemoth. And for some reason here, I am like a medium laser machine gun fool.
Well, let me just get off topic for a second here. More of a balanced thing here. Medium lasers are the best weapon in the game, hands down. Yeah. There is nothing you can argue with that. They have the lowest tonnage. They have some of the, as far as the tonnage to damage, they're the best. Their heat generation isn't huge, and the thing is, like, for example, an AC-2 does the same damage as a medium laser. Granted, the AC-2 has a much larger range, and it's like half as much heat, or
but with ammo and the weight of the AC-2, you could put 6 medium lasers on.
or you could have like 3 medium lasers and 3 heat sinks.
Right.
And then now you run cooler and have 3 times as much firepower. So the medium lasers, I think, are massively overperforming, or a bunch of the other weapons are underperforming, which is why I think some of the weapons are too heavy. Like, for example, I think PPCs maybe are 1 ton too heavy. I think all the autocannons should be about 2 tons lighter. The large lasers, I think, should be about 1 or 2 tons lighter, so they're more like 3 as opposed to 5. And that's just really, really, really small things. And maybe if I get trouble again in the game, I'll go and I'll mod that back to what I think it is and see if it makes a difference. But I kind of want to keep it as close to stock as possible, because that's what you're playing, and you're not having any problems, but you're having the most amazing luck ever. I don't get any luck for drops.
Oh yeah, as I said, the last story mission was a weapons depot, and there was a couple of vehicles are trying to escape. Now I'm running around with 75, so they're not very fast. So I sprint hard to the left, and I'm getting shot at. I'm getting wailed on, but but I have enough evasion that I'm staying, for the most part, relatively safe, except for my main character who lost his arm and torso and got knocked down, and I barely got him out of there. But the thing is that so I charge left, I take out those 2 vehicles, and all the mechs that were way on the right, they go through the ammo depot, and at the end they all stand right next to it. Like, you can blow up a couple of the ammo crates to basically take out an area, but also if you take out too many, you lose the bonus. Well, I'd only taken out one so far, and you can take out two. So they all ended up clumping like practically like holding hands around this ammo crate, and I just looked over there and went, okay, dink, boom, when everything was gone. I'm like, I win.
But for comparison, the mission you did, you had 75-ton mechs.
Yeah.
The heaviest mech I had for that mission was a 55. So you did this mission with 20 tons more per mech than I did.
Yeah.
Because I had like one of every type of heavy mech in salvage. Not two, not three, one. So every type of heavy mech there is, besides like maybe one or two, I had at least one part of, because I have such bad luck that I can't get any drops. Even if I go like maximum salvage and I fight a heavy one, it'll be so badly damaged I only get one part. So I'd have to do like 3 of those missions and get lucky to fight the same heavy mech.
I think that's why my strategy works too. See, my guys, I like to do called shots center torso all the time. And they get close, so they're getting hit in the chest with like 8 medium lasers, some SRMs, and some machine guns. So I come in and I take them out in one round. And one shot, one round, I don't care if they're fully healthy, point blank range, they're done. There is no round 2. And because of that,
torso actually has a lesser drop chance. It's legs and head that give you the best.
So basically, I go to the end of the mission. It'll be 2 or 3, sometimes even 3 parts of the same mech that I took out. I'm like, oh, okay, click, 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 boom, new mech.
Pure fucking luck. You have no luck in any game other than Battletech.
This is why I like Battletech. I have 0 luck when it comes to random chance in everything in the world except for Battletech. As I said, I played the board game, the miniatures battles for years. I never lost a unit. I never lost a battle. And largely it had to do with the fact that it would be like, I'm rolling, I hit head with the PPC, and I win. Oh, okay. I mean, but like every other game I play, when it's RNG, I'm screwed. Battletech it's like this is the game for me in the universe. It just smiles upon. It's opposite day when it comes to my luck with Battletech.
I have your standard luck.
Oh, I know, I love it.
And I just have the worst luck.
Feel
ever.
my burn.
So I don't get anything good. I had to like buy things. The first heavy mech I got, I had to pay for it to get the last part, and it was the dragon, which isn't a very good heavy, but it's fast. I mean, it's just. I mean, when you can, just as a example here, if you had 100 extra free tons on that dragon mech, it becomes a god. It doesn't have a lot of good hard points, but you can put whatever you want on it at that point. And 2 PPCs, 2 AC-10s, I mean, whatever. It just becomes immortal at that point. But you can't fit it under the standard scenario with good enough weaponry. You can probably get like 2 AC-5s on there.
Hands in that thing.
Oh yeah, the Thunderbolt. I actually like this mech. It's one of my more favorite ones. But look at this. Look.
What the hell was that? Your missiles look like the sparklers or they go.
Well, they're LRMs, and I'm in point blank range. So
yeah.
Accuracy is terrible. But yeah, no, I have absolutely no luck in this game. Just it doesn't matter. when the odds are stacked in my favor, I do okay. Light max with 2, 3, 4 PPCs. Yeah, that's great, but not normally.
See, that's why I don't like PPCs. Maybe that's a wrong term because okay. Let me explain that a little bit. I love PPCs, clan PPCs. I don't like inner sphere PPCs. They're not efficient enough. See, that's the thing is when I was first talking about in the first video, I hadn't taken the fact that some people, someone had made a comment about.
He overheated himself.
Well, someone made a comment about the some of the things I was talking about. I felt were off, and that's because he was right. I realized that's right. I always played clan. I never played inner sphere, and I never played inner sphere during this era. So the weapons, they're weaker and they burn hotter. So the PPC here sucks compared to the clan version, which is basically
sucks to the clan version.
Oh yeah, well yeah. So this is why I just rather do the medium lasers or a large laser than a PPC. I just find that PPCs are just massively inefficient in every sense of the word. I don't know.
If you're comparing numbers, a PPC numbers wise is better than a large laser. Just flat out, it's just better. Though you can get 2 heat sinks for the same price as a 1 PPC with a large laser. So there is a little bit of a trade-off. But if you're trying to min-max your tonnage, you're usually not going crazy on heat sinks unless you're using like medium lasers.
Yeah, I go crazy on heat sinks. Oh, fairly enough. Yeah. I do enough that I can do 2 volleys for my mech will basically do.
What's this? I'm unstable and they're focus firing me with LRMs. Gee, I wonder what's gonna happen. Oh, I fell down again.
The body's hit the floor. Sorry, had to.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and you've gone through the whole story. Now I'm probably way behind. It's just it sounds like you're not happy. What are you doing? Check it. Like, help me.
I don't remember what. Oh, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're changing your cinematics.
Yeah, I still haven't have done the show UI thing yet.
Okay. Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's before, so you have an idea of when I recorded this because I told you, yeah, there's this show UI button. You should turn it on. Meh.
But yeah, you've gotten much further in the story. I just got to the point that
I beat the story.
Oh yeah, exactly. So in your overall assessment. As a story, not counting gameplay mechanics, not counting any of it, is it a worthwhile effort?
If you ignore everything else and have it like if it was in a book and someone read it to you, because to me, I have to factor in the gameplay and.
Well, yeah, I mean too. I mean, I'm when I say don't factor in the gameplay, I mean like don't factor in any bugs or flaws that are currently going to be.
Well, I don't have any bugs with the story. I just have just punch. Die, just to die. But some of the story missions I think are not very well balanced because the game has such a high level RNG. No, because there's RNG, right?
Right.
I feel like some of the missions expect you to have a certain amount of tonnage to go into them, and my screen's just turned off. So when you go into the mission under-tonned, the story missions can be incredibly hard to the point of Alt F4 frustration.
Well, and what I'm referring to is the narrative.
Yeah, well, I'm going to get to that part.
Oh, okay.
So if you take that part away, and let's say you don't have any problem with any of the missions, right? Some of the missions they're okay. Some of them are not great. There's one in particular.
Oh.
Yeah.
You got plowed through your face.
Yeah. So there's one mission in particular that I didn't really like, and there's one that comes basically directly after that, which I expected to hate because reasons. To not have spoilers. But actually, it was incredibly fun. I actually enjoyed it a lot. Right. You just run up and dirt people in the face, and you're like, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Because, for most of the story, I'm playing with mediums and maybe 1 or 2 heavy because I did not get bigger mechs. I mean, the mechs you're seeing right now, this is about the best I got in my story mission. I didn't get assault mechs until like the very, very end when it doesn't matter anymore. So if you take your time and you build up your arsenal and stuff, you're probably not going to have any problems and you'll be able to enjoy it because there are some really good missions in there. And, like, the engine didn't blow me away. I wasn't, like, crying or whatever because it was so heartfelt and emotional. It did get to the point where, like, it's, this is it. This is the final mission. It's over after that. And then when you're in the last bit of dialogue and stuff, and it's kind of like, oh, well, blah, 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 blah. It's kind of like, wow, I actually forgot that was even a thing. And they flat out tell you some of this stuff at the very beginning. But it had been so long and there'd been so many battles between it that I had forgot that that's why we were fighting. And so it was kind of like, oh.
Maybe they should have some emotional content in the future, like a future story, like you own a puppy, and the puppy, like, gets out onto the field and gets stepped on by a mech. You're like, no! Mr. Sleepykins, and then like this whole battle raid.
That's a movie, John Constantine or something.
Oh, I don't know.
It's a movie. You just quoted a movie. He's a retired assassin, and all he wants is to be left alone. He gets a dog he didn't want because.
Oh no, you're talking now. Constantine. Constantine's the one that you're.
Yeah. And then
no. Constantine is the one where he's an exorcist. But let's face it, it's a Keanu Reeves movie. Keanu Reeves plays Keanu Reeves in the Keanu Reeves film, so it's not.
I don't remember what it's called, but anyway.
John Wick.
Yes, John Wick. They killed his dog, and now he's gonna kill them. It's still actually a pretty good movie. Oh, hey, there's the other arm. You just even it out, you know.
You're balanced now.
Actually, I think there was a left torso that got blown off, but. Yeah, no, there's I'd say there's about at least 2 quote-unquote rewards for the end of the story mission. And while one of them is probably like a no big deal, it's kind of a nice thing. The other one is kind of like, oh, sweet. And I guess to not spoil anything, you know, just put a big flashing spoilers, maybe. No. You get to continue playing after the story mission ends. So it's not just like it's over and congratulations, thanks for playing.
Well, I figured that would happen because I mean even in the opening when you watch the opening cutscene, you know, she says you didn't know why you fought and so it's like one of those things like obviously you know you would have kept doing your own thing. It's not like okay we won and you shoot yourself in the head or something. I mean campaign over. Right? I mean you're running a mercenary company, so obviously that's going to be.
Eat a dick, you stupid bastards.
Lightning Dragon 2018. No,
I like it.
I should put that. That'd be like a quote, like put a little quote thing on the screen that says, "Eat a dick, you bastards." Lightning Dragon 2018.
Well, trust me, if you were playing this mission, you would know my frustrations. Of course, you know, you and your 75, 80-ton mech should probably just stop all over.
You should watch my strategy. That I mean, literally. It's a very simple strategy.
I've done it before, and LRMs don't do enough damage.
It's not about doing a lot of damage. It's about simply wearing them down to the point that they're soft and pudding-like, and then you just kick them straight in the junk, and it's over. So yeah, I mean, it looks like this battle is getting close to being finished here.
Unfortunately, yes.
Unfortunately, what is this going to go badly for you?
Well,
I mean, it's already gone badly for you. It's going to go more badly for you.
Someone got a headshot, and I think the other mech just fell over, and the person inside of it died. The left leg got blown off.
I see that. Yeah.
And
I haven't lost anyone yet.
I've lost one person. I didn't save this, by the way. Fuck this mission. I just kept recording because it's like I'm recording it for a reason. I'll just keep recording. But I only lost one person in the normal mission, and that was in the mission you just did, the base ammunition assault thing.
Okay, yeah.
I've got an armor.
Well, it helps to have an extra, 20 tons per mech.
Yeah, per mech, 20 tons or more per mech than what I had. That's a lot of additional armor. It's a lot of additional weaponry. It's a lot more ammunition.
Are those guys relatively fresh?
Yeah, these guys are reinforcements.
Golly.
These guys were LRMing me the entire time, and basically I killed the guys that were spotting for them, so they had to engage me.
I mean, because that's you're in a bad way.
Yeah, and this is what a lot of the missions were for me. Even when I went crazy balls to the walls, I still had missions like this where they spawn on top of you. I just had 6,000 armor, so they couldn't do anything anymore.
Looks like that guy. The only guy that's going to live is the guy up top, because they can't get to him.
Are you sure about that?
Okay, maybe they can. I'm afraid. Oh crap!
Guess what? Here it comes.
Oh. Oh my goodness.
Oh, side torso destroyed, leg destroyed. Oh, they fell over, right? And oh, no, they're still up. They're still up.
Here it comes.
Here it comes. Boom.
Now you're going down.
Destroyed. Right torso destroyed. Pilot injured. Knocked down.
Time to eat the floor.
That's in one round. 3 injuries in one round. By the way, they're dead now.
Oh my gosh.
So now all I have is this Vindicator. Now a sensible person would probably hit that withdraw button, but I'm not.
But hey, you're all in at this point. You might as well just go for it.
PPC has been blown off. All I have is a medium ++, a small laser, and 70 rounds of LRM. Bring it on.
This is just at this point in time. This is like where you see in an action movie where someone just screams like, "You killed Jimmy!" Ah! They just run in, and that's there's no strategy or tactics, and they just get killed halfway down the hall. That's you right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my goodness.
So there's a reason why I wanted to show you this mission. And this is it. So there's still what, four mechs at the battle? I can't see the screen though that well. So yeah, it's 1 versus 4. Nope, never mind. Center torso destroyed.
But aside from all that, as a final thoughts on this, it is an incredible game worth buying. If you've been waiting for the miniatures battle to come to life in a much more realized way, things aside that need to be worked on, they're going to address it. Just get the game. If you have any love for the Battletech franchise, I would rather play this, hands down, than something like MechWarrior Online or whatever. And with MechWarrior 5 coming out, I think that's going to kick MechWarrior Online in the teeth too if it's good.
It's made by the same people though.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
They're not going to do anything that's going to jeopardize. There's probably going to be a bunch of microtransactions. We'll have to see. I'm hopeful, but I'm doubtful. Oh yeah, look at that. No head there. All right, guys. Well, I guess that's everything for this video. Had some thoughts.
No salvage.
Well, you had your corpses, so.
I don't even get. Well, I guess I do get the corpses.
All right, guys. Well, we will catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and go buy Battletech.
If you're a big Battletech fan, it's definitely worth it. And updates are on the way, so even more so.
All right. Catch you later.